Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day and welcome to another video about leaked lemuria spells. Now this next lemuria update is already shaping up to be one of the biggest spell updates that we have literally ever seen, not even capping. I have now made 2 videos on upcoming spells, but since then, not only have we gotten a leak on my stream last night, we also got another leak on Rapbeard's stream this morning. But this one is really different. The reason these leaks are so different is because they involve Scions, which I don't think anybody expected. The spells that I'm about to show you are literally new Scions, and they're probably gonna be for every school, because why would they not do it for every school? Without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm gonna actually start with the leak that happened this morning because I only saw it when I woke up today, and it's this. So this is a reworked Scion of Fire. Now, Scion of Fire right now is honestly pretty damn hard to set up. You basically, to do double damage on the 1120 base damage, in order for that to do, I guess, 2,240 damage, right? You need 6 traps on your opponent. And here's the thing, right? If they shield, you gotta break those traps. So really what it normally boils down to, the only way people have been able to ever use Scion of Fire is by using fuel traps. And it can't just be 2 fuel traps, because then 1 shield and what do, right? It's normally 3 traps, 4 traps. It becomes like a really small deck where you just have to spam the hell out of traps in order to even have a chance of doing the double damage Scion. But this spell, which got literally leaked this morning, is very different. Not only is it the exact same amount of damage, it actually is based on what fire does best. Now, just to clarify what the spell does, basically what it does is if your opponent has 2 overtimes on them, then you are able to do a whole ass double Scion. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, Sauce, that's actually kind of hard to do, bro. Like, can't they just like triage? Like, what are you doing? I agree. It's definitely hard to set up if your only goal is to just, you know, spam fire elves. But there are some ways in which this spell could be absolutely crazy. One way is already in the game. You can use a fire elemental, but also there's another probable way to do this because there's more new spells coming in this update that probably make this spell much easier to use. The one that I'm talking about is called Backfire, which you see on the screen now. Now, this is the only like utility spell that I haven't covered. I was gonna cover it with the next round of utility spells, but I thought it was a very interesting thing to keep in this video because what it seems to do is it converts traps into 3 overtimes if you have 3 traps on. What does that mean? Let's say that you have, you know, this spell, right? This backfire spell and a myth maybe, or I don't know, a life maybe, or even a fire. They were supposed to fuel you, right? All those schools can literally fuel you. You can get rid of that fuel and put 3 overtimes on your opponent, and you can fulfill the Scion condition so you need it, so that you need to do double damage. So that actually gives fire at the moment the best anti-trap stacking tool out of all the schools that we've seen, and it gives them a way to turn that into offense absolutely directly. So these 2 leaked spells, which by the way were leaked, I want to say in the past few days together, I feel like there's a reason they were leaked together. There's a lot of synergy between some of these spells. I don't know exactly what all of these utility spells are going to have to do, but if every school is getting a reworked Scion, then this is a really big deal because that means every school might get utilities that complement those Scions. There's another reason why I say this. There are 2 spells that are dead that were leaked very recently, and you'll see them on your screen. The spells that I'm talking about are called Doom Oni and Oni's Morbidity. You see a spell that turns overtime heals into shields, and then a spell that turns shields into damage. This is yet another example of a school like Dead. They're getting a hit and a utility that complements that hit. And what's really nice about a lot of these utilities is that they're anti-blade and anti-trap stack. So I think what we're seeing a lot is a trend where a lot of these utilities are not just for the sake of, you know, countering what your opponent's doing. It's also a really smart way to turn things that normally wouldn't matter into damage. Like an overtime heal on your opponent. How would you turn that into damage, right? A blade on your opponent. How would you turn that into damage? Normally what you would do is maybe disarm or weakness, and it's very stale, right? Someone weaknesses, you blade, right? Someone bubbles, you bubble back. Like it's not a one-off counter. The fact that you can counter it and also create tempo for yourself, that is a gigantic deal, and I really think that's going to be what this update's all about. Now, that's not the only Scion, by the way. The Fire Scion's not the only one that we know about. The other one was leaked on my stream last night, but let's look at it. So the reworked Scion of Balance is absolutely nutty, my boy. What you see on the screen is the Reworked Scion of Balance. And basically what I assume that it does is if your opponent has more than 11 pips or 11 pips, you have a Scion that can do double damage. That means you do not need to do what you currently have to do with Scion. Currently with Scion of Balance, not only do you need 6 blades on yourself, you literally enfeeble yourself after using them. You can't even use those blades for off-school hits like Nested Fury or Chimera or Hydra. No, they get enfeebled. So that's why this spell, in my opinion, is pretty trash. I mean, you'll see a video soon where someone actually did. I mean, it's not always trash, but it's so much less usable, and that's why you see so many people just mana burn spam. But this spell, the reworked one that we might be getting in the Lemuria update, what's really interesting is that now you have an incentive not to mana burn spam, and depending on what other utilities Balance gets, there might be more ways to manipulate pips. I think the real question with this one, listen, I'm using the logic that we had an Oni death spell that had an Oni utility that helped it do better, and we have a Fire Scion spell with the Fire utility that helps it do better. How in the world are we going to get a utility that makes a Scion of Balance, like the updated one, better? It's definitely going to have something to do with pips. I think that's kind of obvious, you know, but how's that going to work is my real question. Maybe there's a way to make your opponent get more pips so your mana burns are better and your Scions better, or maybe there's a way to, I don't know, lock them from pip gain when they're at a certain level. There's a lot of ways this could work, but I'm really, really curious what they're going to do with this one, because this one could actually be very interesting, especially compared to the other schools. This one is pips. That's like a really big deal. But yeah, guys, this video was an overview of 2 new Scion spells, a couple of new utilities, and also how some of these really seem to be related in a way that we've never seen spells before. I will say this, I think PvP and PvE is going to be a lot less linear now. I don't think it's just going to be, oh, you just blade a few times, you're good to go, you know? Like, I think the combos are going to get way more complicated, and I'm really, what I can say more than anything is if these spells have, if every school has access to these spells, we're going to see strategies we've never seen before, and I'm very, very excited for it. The more I'm seeing in this update, the happier that I'm getting, bro. It's actually really crazy. Hopefully none of this will be too broken and spammable. Obviously, I think that's the big key here. But I want to know, what do you guys think about the Fire Scion rework, the Balance Scion rework? I don't know if we're getting a second Scion or if our current Scions are getting updated. That time will tell. But let me know what you guys think about that. What do you guys think about the fact that these utilities complement them so well as well? Drop a comment, let me know your opinion. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and leave a sub if you're new. And as always, if somebody has not told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome. And yeah.